Hi guys, happy Witchy Wednesday. So, taking a break from everything else, all of everything, and I'm just gonna share a tale. And it's actually called A Tale Shared. So, and this is within traditional Cornish witchcraft. Well, actually, it's all over Britain, but mainly in Cornwall. So, it's pretty interesting. I like it. And how are you guys doing? Hope well, I hope. Alright, so this is pretty interesting. So, alright, a little quote here, that we teach by poetic inference, by thinking along the lines that belong to dreams and images. Robert Cochrane. So this kind of gives you a little glimpse into traditional witchcraft, a little bit differently. So, through tales, through stories, through oral, telling of oral stories, all of that stuff. So like they did in the olden days, because really there were no books to record all of this stuff. So, it's an oral tradition, kinda, maybe a little more than so. Alright, so most people think that stories are something that happens inside books, and that narratives belong only to tales and epics. But we come to see the world from the perspective of fate. We soon come to see that the world is comprised from a variety of competing narratives. So if the world is comprised of competing narratives, there can't be just one gigantic narrative up in the sky that's omniscient. So, anyways, those who called themselves werewolves had one particular narrative that they were following, one that was different to the story that the outside world had had about them. When we deal with the records of witchcraft in Europe, we're always dealing with the sense of competing narratives, and it does feel like that too, and it's because it is so freaking regional. We encounter numerous sub-narratives that different people had about certain aesthetic groups. We encounter somewhere behind it all shadowy meta-narrative that binds together this world of spirit flight. Hedge-straddling, skin-turning, animal-riding, and Sabbath attendance. And we encounter written over the top the story of the Inquisitors and the mainstream Christian majority. So, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So it's still kind of in the realm of familiars. So we do have a little familiar in here. Now, as people coming to the story of European witchcraft, much later in the tale, we find some parts of the narrative garbled, and other things appear clearer and more panoramic than ever. We talk about a story rather than a tradition because we acknowledge that we are part of a grand narrative that is always spinning itself out and changing. So each fully realized witch becomes a new, temporary organization of the story. So that's pretty interesting. I like that part. So I like how that stories, contains so much. It's the lore, it's the folklore, it's, everything about your local land and all of it. Alright, now it is clear from reading the testimonies of modern ecstatics who have re-entered the story of traditional witchcraft that some of the smaller stories have merged into larger ones. Things that were once distinct chapters have run into each other and become confused, and it is very confusing in traditional craft at times, and yet it is still recognizable as the same story being told. So that's where it comes into the traditional part, because it is still part of that tradition or story. So a coven, or any other smaller grouping of witches, is formed up within the auspices of that story, and yet each person who encounters the story brings with them the potential to eventually change the tale in some way. So I like everything to be traditional. I really like traditional, especially with my craft though, but that's just me. So it is fair to say that each person who enters always changes the story, but as a student one attempts to disturb it as little as possible. So, because one seeks the sponsorship of that story. So, upon entering traditional witchcraft as currently manifest in the Coven story, you get to access broader and older narratives that went into the weaving of it, and you get to draw on their power, which is even better, and that reminds me of tapping the bone for information from the ancestral dead within traditional witchcraft, so it actually, kind of amps up your energy and your workings, and it just makes everything that much more powerful. Now, all stories are a form of power, and whenever we enter into one, we do what is called suspending disbelief and become emotionally involved with that reality. We allow ourselves to fall under the spell of something, but at the same time we receive power from it. So yeah, I mean, if you're reading and reading and reading, and you come across something and you read it over and over, and you can imagine it, and all of these amazing things come to your mind, and it makes you feel good, there you go. So great sorcerers are usually master storytellers and weavers of these kinds of spells. And what we would call a fully realized witch has become a new manifestation of the story they originally entered quite passively. A woke witch, as Kiernan Shipka would say, from Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is now the occult world of Sabrina, which is really interesting because it's going to take form in the comic book. So as a student, one enters the story of witchcraft and allows it to rewrite them. So when you enter, you're completely rewired, basically. It's like getting a new modem. Or a new, I don't know, DirecTV versus another company. Where'd I go? I don't know where I am. Oh, they enter its universe and allow themselves to function under its laws and its vision. So that's what traditional craft is. Its laws, its vision, the morals, the ethics, all of that. So that's why it's actually structured. So we do have structure in it. And this conceals an important magical truth. He or she who wishes to be a great enchanter must possess the ability to be enchanted. So, unless you are capable of falling under a spell and later knowing that you are falling under a spell and allowing yourself to be scrolled and in fact becoming an active what in the hell is that word? Oh, an active person in the process. Sorry, wow. It is unlikely that you will have the sensitivity to beauty and the subtle to ever weave spells for other people. This is a little like the way that someone who does not know how to love is unlikely ever to be lovable. So that does make a lot of sense right there. I love that. I absolutely love it. So you must first fall in love with a pre-made story and enter into it on the story's own terms before you gain the power to change the story through yourself. We don't want to change traditional craft. We don't. You may not think that you would ever want to change the story. Or if you are, particularly dominating person, you may feel quite the opposite and completely understand why someone will want to change the story. But I can say here now that those with a strong capacity to love will have more luck. So, interestingly, both giving yourself over to a story and the willingness, once it is fully understood and a part of you, to change it, are both manifestations of love. Because the fully realized witch changes the story from the right space, not to write her pretty human ego over the top of something beautiful and divine in a kind of so and so it's here gesture. A lot of people do that. But because the very love they feel for the story makes them wish to involve themselves in it, blend with it, breed with it almost. So think of the desire of a man. May feel to impregnate a woman if he wishes to impregnate her to make a third thing, so that he can blend with her and become a part of her. Then he is more likely to get further than if he wishes to do it to dominate and control her and make something in his own image only. So a story is much like a woman. Kind of like this, in this sense. It is a mystery. It should be approached out of love. Seek to understand it, not to manipulate or control it in your own image. And that's what New Agers do to traditional craft. Seek to know it and you will find its gifts to be beyond price. So here you begin your practice in being enchanted. So it sounds strange that we talk about being enchanted as an active activity, rather than something that is done to you. This is because as a witch, once you start opening your eyes and becoming increasingly aware of things that are usually unconscious, you begin to realize you are participating in many processes. You are a proprietor in the grand system of fate. And fate is also a goddess. and you are also a proprietor in your own enchantment. So, when we really think about it, it will no longer seem strange to say that there is still, or that there is a skill to being enchanted, to being spellbound. So far, we have talked about the sight and crossing the hedge in terms of a passive opening up, but there is more to the picture. The ability to allow something to enchant you happens in direct relation to how much love you have for something. This might seem like a simple key, but it's a potent one. It's very potent. So, if you love the Master with a huge fire of devotion, his ability to enchant you will be greater, because love is the other secret key to attainment, a key that belongs to Our Lady. So yeah, I do like that. My passion, my love for my craft is what keeps it going, and it's what keeps me going. And yeah, I did rewrite my own story a bit, but it's still traditional and within the confines of, yes, traditional Cornish craft. One of the best uses of one's time as a sorcerer, in addition to petitioning the Master to open your sight, is to begin devotions to the Queen of Faerie, asking her to give you the gift of great passion. The Master gives us the key to the unseen door, but without the seal of Heartfire, that the Lady grants us the longing and passion for the story. All our hopes will just fizzle out. I hope you guys are following along with this one, because this is interesting. So as you set further into your journey, deeper into our story, remind yourself of the value of enchantment. Learning how to become enchanted is the beginning of learning how to enchant. But enchantment is frightening. It is. It can be. Letting go of oneself enough to enter into a story that you don't fully as yet understand, to agree to work along its plot and come to its conclusion, requires both bravery and subtlety. But most of all, it requires love. So, but that just does not mean that, if you have great love for the gods and the goddesses, you can go and you can just, use them out of context, or, do something completely, offer them something that they don't like, or, light a candle, the wrong color candle for them, or, da-da-da-da. So, where did I go? Oh, okay, so I have heard it said that subtlety and cunning are the gift of the Master, love and passion are the gift of the Lady, and courage is the gift you give yourself as a representative of mankind and mankind's dignity. And I think these are wise words to keep in mind as one takes one's first step into the world of stories. So, now our fairy tale is something that you can only reach by going down the rabbit hole. So begin to exercise your ability to be enchanted. Stop and find something beautiful and gather yourself into that moment. By this, he says, I mean a state when you are not thinking about the past or the future, just completely in the presence of the beautiful thing. Try and find something that, if you look at it or listen to it long enough, it can make you cry. So, yeah, there's a lot of beauty in the world like this. So, it doesn't matter what it is or how long it takes you of meditating on its beauty to get this response, but a good sorcerer must be able to conjure forth powerful emotions in themselves. So, I love it. So this state, as well as one of seething, dirty malice, must both be reachable for you, and you do need to be able to find keys that create these states in you. So don't think that you don't need to create the state of dirty, seething malice, as you never intend to curse. Instead, think of it as exercising the full range of human emotional potential. That's why you cannot always have a positive mindset, like 100% all the time. Oh, it's okay. Everything will work out alright. It's okay. It's all going to come together. No, the universe doesn't care. No, you do it yourself. So even if it is your purpose as a witch is to heal, you must at least attempt to know the emotions that lay a curse down before you can lift one. So, it's pretty interesting. It's really interesting. Now, but in the beginning, it is mainly the ability to be utterly enchanted with something that you will need. The rest of your range can be worked on later. Once you have found one thing that creates this state in you, try and broaden your repertoire. See how many types of enchantment you can make yourself subject to. There's a lot. You can be enchanted by a lot. Music, imagery, poetry, flowers, scents, smells, drawing, painting, sculpting, whatever it is. Find things that create states of pure aesthetic bliss, things that make you shiver and feel uncomfortable, things that make you feel lustful, and then try things that make you feel odd, combinations of feelings at the same time. This practice will sensitize you and increase your awareness of things. I love it. As well as make you more able to experience a state of enchantment in ritual. So, I mean, this is coming from the emotions. You have really got to pour your emotions into all of this. Hence, when I did Ouija boot camp, and I told you guys to reenact it. So, just imagine you're talking to somebody, your grandma. Reenact it. You are literally reenacting that. So, bring those feelings back to you. Draw those feelings into you. Conjure them up inside of you. It's beautiful. It really is. And that's the key to the Ouija for me. And that's what I try to get a lot of people to understand, and I think a few did understand when we did Ouija boot camp. So, but I love this. It is so beautiful. So it may well be asked why we need to do this kind of practice. If the spell of something is strong enough, surely we shouldn't have too much trouble falling under it. There's actually a very good reason. We are not more susceptible to them and to otherworldly phenomena in general. It is for our own protection. Our minds have evolved to block out this input for survival reasons. It is only when our helpers and our ancestral protectors, if they are strong and we are fated to survive, we are convinced we can integrate that material successfully, that they will open those gates for us. Now the good news is that this kind of practice, everything that we have been doing in fact, stretches those muscles and makes it just or not just more likely to happen, but more likely to happen with some level of safety. So, there is still that level of safety within it, you know. So, if we work on learning to become enchanted when we so will to be, we are not longer the victim of enchantments, or able to be easily led astray by the powers that do not wish us well. So, there's a lot of mystery in this. So we are able to instead choose what spells we fall under. So if you are able, this is kind of like a vaccine. If you are getting a vaccine and it's fighting it off, you're sick, the vaccine's working because your immune system's fighting off. Same with this. So it's very interesting, and I am fuzzy. There we go. I don't know, I think it's my eyes. So, because the great way, and then again, you know, spells people fall under are, you know, very deceptive enchantments. So there are many people like right now that I know that are being deceived greatly through enchantment. So because the great and terrible truth about stories is that we are all living in them already. The plots and characters have simply become so familiar and seem so inevitable to us that we can see no other way that our lives could go. So this is how fate operates. The doom she has in store for us is written in such a story. She is the artist of artists, and yet the master has won for us the potential to be lesser artists ourselves, to take some part through him in rewriting the story that will define our lives. So, and witchcraft at its core is about seizing and embodying that artistry. So, I like that. Again, A Deed Without a Name, Lee Morgan, A Tale Shared. It was, I mean, there's so much mystery in that. It's just, it's incredible. So that's pretty much it for Witchy Wednesday. I'm very happy. Well, here, let's do a little bit of coffee talk. I don't want to have to edit. I do not want to have to edit anything at all. Alright, let's see if it'll hurry up and pop up really quick. Probably not. So yes, it's very interesting stuff, isn't it? Nothing is popping up for me. I don't know why. Come on. Come on. It's really warm today. I mean, really warm. Oh, there we go. Now it's popping up for me. slowly but surely it might pop up. I hope, anyway. I really hope. Well, this is interesting. There we go. Hopefully. There we go. Alright. So yeah, be careful what enchants you. There's quite a few pivotal points in that tale shared. Alright. So yeah, there's quite a few pivotal points in that, though, to actually take into consideration in your craft. Whatever you do. It doesn't matter what type of craft you're in. I mean, there's still that, you know, love. We obviously have love as a major overtone for the entire story. Don't know why this is taking so long. Dang it, I'm going under over 20 minutes now. Okay. Got it. Okay. Hopefully my comments will pop up here. I hate this part. I hate the waiting. I'm very impatient. Alright, Melissa, hello. Cynthia was first wife. Anna was a song. First son, John Charles. Julian Lennon. P wrote Hey Jude for him. Cool, thank you. Thank you for your comment. The partial son, hey you, how are you? Hey, hi. How is your day going? It's alright. Have you noticed anything happening with the renovations starting on the house? No, nothing. I'm also looking through your channel. Do you have any videos on learning to do trance work and head writing? Haha. I'm actually, I should have done that video today. Crap. I should, I might, maybe. Also pronounced challah. Huh. It's a traditional Jewish style bread served on a Sabbath or a Sabbath. It is braided egg-based bread, usually savory, but can be any flavored, any desired flavor. That is, oh my god, I've had that bread before. It is so good. Now I have to go find some. I love that. I might have some trance work, breathing techniques. Meditate and focus on your breathing. That'll put you into trance big time. Let me look on that, and I will have to look. Or let me look on that and I'll have to find it. But I think I do. Alright, Electrocute, hi you. Alright, it's true, I can't keep a positive mindset, and I feel I've been judged so hard for it. You don't have to have a positive mindset. We have to embrace the negative. We have to. Thank you so much, with all my heart, for telling me I was a joy to you. You are a joy to me. You are so amazing to be around. You are such a joy to me as well. Aw, I love you, and I love going through this process with you. You are an inspiration. I am. Oh my god. I love you to death. Thank you. Alright, Electrocute. Okay, I totally agree with you. I have a son who is nonverbal and has cerebral palsy, and have been attacked since he was born. That's so mean. People have said I should have never had a child, knowing my body was at high risk. I have been in a depression for years now. Thank you so much for this information, because I have had family members attacking me, saying I'm selfish. Or it's my selfish actions that caused my son to be this way. No, it's not. No, it's not. Totally not your fault. It's not your actions that caused it. I have been fighting with all my heart to fight off that thought process. It has been the source of my depression even to this day. I needed this so much. Thank you. I feel like I was led to you. Aw, love. Yeah, it's okay. Don't You don't have to have a positive mindset all the time. No. Nobody expects you to be positive up here all the time. You can't. It's impossible. It is 100%, 50%, 150% impossible. That's just the New Age manifestation enchantment that they are throwing over people. So all the manifestors and people that are saying, alright, you have to have a positive mindset, no. It all leads then to a negative mindset. So, alright, Soul of Thorns, hello, Lady Witch, Cindy Miller, hi you, hi guys, Santa Muerte on a Harley, Brent Edwards, Lord Welb, Carolee Lacusta, hi you, Jay Phoenix, hi my bro, Beetle Depth 3000, hi Diane Hannon, you're so cute, I love you. Eva Lugassi, Susie Civiter, Queen of Negativity, I love you. Kate the Witch, Alchemy of Life. Who else? Oh, Yuichi. And Lisa Oaks. Hi, darling. Alright, guys. Well, let me know what you guys think about that. About the, A Tale Shared. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So, all my love, all the way from Venus. Always. All the way back down. There we go. And I love you guys. Please be safe, stay healthy, all that good stuff. Don't go nowhere on me or I'll freak out. So, alright guys, I love you all very, very, very much. And thank you guys for all your amazing comments. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.